Morning, councillors and Mayor.
Morning.
I'd like to speak to you about New Brighton, basically businesses again. Basically, I've been around to just about every business in New Brighton over the last 2 weeks since I've spoken to you. They're very, very upset, very basically stressed out. I'll just give you an idea. My business that I've got in New Brighton is making around about $30 a day because the council's basically sitting basically on the basically sitting down basically and not doing anything about this. You've had $5.7 million basically since May of last year, I understand. Not a cent of it's been spent in New Brighton yet. We want to know what's happening. When basically is the rebuild of New Brighton going to happen, because the business people of New Brighton, including myself, have had a guts full. We want something done about it. My understanding is basically you've got quite a bit of money basically in a mayor's fund basically that the business people of New Brighton, including myself, basically could do with assistance basically with that. So basically that's what I'm asking you. Basically there needs to be some type of money put into the businesses here before they fall over, because the $5.7 million basically that you all had since May of last year, you haven't spent a cent of it. There's no rebuild happening, and it's impacting on businesses in a big way. So I'd like to hear your response and when you're going to do something about it.
Well, given that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you know about the $5.7 million?
No.
It was put aside for New Brighton.
No, that was 5.
Paul Satan basically told me basically it was $5.7 million put aside for New Brighton basically to rebuild it, and that's what he told me.
No. Well, I think this is just the wrong end of the sticky, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. But you know, you've got 2 minutes 58 left, so.
Okay, we'll go back to basically when you were the MP for New Brighton. That was your electorate. What did you do over the 9 years basically that you were there in New Brighton? I'd like to know.
Nothing.
I'd like to know what you did for the New Brighton business.
But I'm the Mayor of Christchurch now, and I think my history has, as the MP for the area, is something that stands on its own record, and it's something that I don't think it does. Have to respond to.
If you go around and speak to all the business people in New Brighton, they'll be saying the opposite.
Well,
you haven't done anything.
Actually, with respect, Ian, Leanne has a huge reputation out there, a huge support base.
Who have you spoken to? Have you spoken to your business people?
I would also say, Ian,
no. This is, excuse me, this is out of order.
I don't think it is.
Ian, you came last time. I asked the clerk to explain to you that the purpose of these are the inspirational talks that we just had from the young woman with ideas that they want to bring to the council. You came 2 weeks ago and you used this session. You can't use this session this week to get an extra 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes for people just to present some ideas to the council. That's what it's for. You can't just come back every second week. No, but you just can't come back every second week and say the same thing that you said the last time that you came.
I'll give you some ideas.
Okay.
You just ask me a question, I'll give you an answer to it. What we've suggested basically that would help New Brighton businesses, and that would bring basically business back to New Brighton. We need things basically for families and people to do when they come into Brighton. So what we're suggesting to do is where Bar 25 used to be, there's a big area there basically that's got nothing on it. There could be indoor go-karting, there could be mini golf. A lot of the stuff that basically at Curry have that we've lost could be put into New Brighton. That would give people basically something to do, families something basically to do in New Brighton, bring them back, they'd start spending money again, and that would help the businesses out over there. But we need the council basically to be on board. We need money put into Brighton, whether it's from the Mayor's Fund or something else, and it needs to happen now before the businesses collapse over there. And what I'm hearing on a day-to-day basis, the stress is killing people over there. The business people are so stressed out. They go like me to work every day to open their shops up and run their businesses the best they can. But if you haven't got the people coming back into New Brighton, you've got nothing. And that's the whole trouble. We keep waiting and waiting for council basically to do something. And at the moment, there's businesses falling over because the council is just basically sitting on it and doing nothing. And we need the money to come back into New Brighton. We need the projects to happen. for 4, we have nothing over there basically for people to go to. And that's the whole problem.
Thank you. That's time's up, and thank you very much for making the effort to come back.
Take it on board there.
Thank you.
People are really had enough.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so